Hello everybody, this is another Hot Wheels collector video. I am super excited to be bringing you guys this video. This is the Hot Wheels Hunting UK 2023 year review video. In this video, we are going to be taking a look at all of the brand new castings which first debuted in 2023 in the mainline, of course, and there has been some absolutely fantastic castings this year. It's been full of fantastic stuff, to be honest, and I will tell you that there has been zero cars that I dislike. I like all of the brand new castings for this year. But I will have to tell you guys what my favourite new castings for 2023 are, and also what my least favourite castings for 2023 are as well. And I will be giving reasons for that. Now then, what will you get from this video? So we'll kick off the video by showing you all of the brand new castings which first debuted in the mainline of 2023. And then we will be moving on to your guys' votes. Now, I did publish a Google form which you could vote on a few months back, but it has been closed for a little while now. And we got loads of votes, so thank you to everyone who casted their votes. It is much appreciated. So we'll be going through all of them votes, and I will be telling you guys what you guys voted for your most favourite castings for 2023, and also what you guys voted for your least favourite casting for 2023, and why I think you guys picked that. And then finally, it will be my thoughts and opinions, so what my most favourite brand new casting for 2023 in the mainline was, and also what my least favourite brand new casting for 2023 in the mainline was as well. So yeah, stay tuned for all of that. It's going to be an exciting video, but without further ado, let's get straight into this. Alright, so starting off our year review then, I'm going to run through all the brand new castings that did release in 2023, and I'm going to start off with the A case, and we're going to work our way all the way to the Q case. Essentially, we're going to go in year order from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, and let's kick off this with the Nissan Patrol Custom, which first debuted in the 2023 A case, in this glossy cream colour. I'm quite a big fan of this casting. I think they've done a nice job on it, and overall it's a pretty nice one. And the next new casting for 2023 was the Ford Escort RS2000. Now this casting did debut in glossy white. It didn't debut in this glossy red colour, which you can see here. And I can only apologise that I don't have the white version. It's because when I bought this casting, I wasn't doing YouTube, to be honest. I bought the casting before I started YouTube, and hence I wasn't in the mindset of getting all the releases of new castings. But don't worry, next year I will be collecting every version of new castings to come. But yeah, I like this casting. It's been done very nicely. I can't wait to see where this casting pops up next. And the next new casting for 2023 was the Tesla Model Y. Now, I actually quite like this casting. I think it's been done pretty nicely. It first debuts in the 2023 B case, and also first debuts in this metallic white colour. It is not just glossy, it does have some metal flake to it, which I think looks very nice. Overall, it's kind of one of them castings which sits right in the middle for me this year. It's not the worst, but it's not the best. The next new casting we have here is the Volvo P1800 Gasser. Now this was a brand new casting for the 2023 B case as well, and it first debuted in this glossy green colour. I'm a big fan of this casting. I think the Hot Wheels team have done very well on this thing, and this is a real life car. It actually won the Hot Wheels Legends Tour in 2022, and hence we do have this die-cast model, which again looks very nice in my opinion. And the next casting we have here is the Rimac Nevera. Now this casting first debuted in the 2023 C case in this metallic dark blue colour. I'm a big fan of this casting. Lots of people don't like it, but I do like it quite a lot. I think the Hot Wheels team have done great on this thing. And next up we do have the BMW 507. Now I really do like this casting, although I don't think the execution in terms of tamper work was perfect. I think this casting has a bright future ahead of it. This casting first debuted in the 2023 D case, and it first debuted in this glossy white colour, which we have here. I would like to mention that there were no new castings in the 2023 A case, however there were plenty of new castings in the 2023 F case, and this is one of them, the 72 Stingray Convertible. This casting first debuted in the 2023 F case in this metallic dark blue colour. Overall, I like this casting, but I've got a massive gripe about it, which I will talk about once we come to my opinions, where I will be telling you my favourite and least favourite castings, so stay tuned for that. And the next new casting we have here is the 73 Honda Civic Custom. Now this casting also first debuted in the 2023 FKS, and it first debuted in this really bright and luminous lime green colour, which I actually like on this casting. Overall, I love the look of this casting, and I love it when the Hot Wheels team do custom versions of cars. I think it just looks so cool. Keep up the great work, Hot Wheels team. I love this thing. And next up we have another really solid new casting. Once again coming from the 2023 FKS, this is the Audi 90 Quattro. It first debuted in this glossy white colour, and honestly I have no complaints whatsoever about this casting. It's just awesome. And the next new casting we have here is the Porsche 911 Carrera RS 2.7. This is once again a brand new casting featuring in the 2023 FKs. It first debuted in this glossy white colour, and overall this is another stunning brand new casting. Once again, I have no complaints whatsoever. Next up, I would like to mention that the 2023 G case didn't have any brand new castings. However, the 2023 H case definitely did, and it had this fantastic new casting. This is the 1989 Mercedes-Benz 560 SEC AMG. This is definitely a fan favourite amongst Hot Wheels collectors, and honestly I can't blame you guys for loving it. It's fantastic. It first debuted in this glossy black colour, and as you can probably tell, I also do not have any complaints about this casting at all. It's been executed fantastically from the Hot Wheels team. And the stellar new castings don't stop yet. We have the 86 Toyota Supra. Once again, a big fan favourite. Loads of people love this thing, and it genuinely is a very nice casting as well. Now then, this casting first debuted in the 2023 J case in this glossy red colour. It's just a really solid new casting once again. Just awesome looking. Next up we do have a really nice new casting once again. This is the Mitsubishi Pajero Evo. Now I think a lot of people have been overlooking this casting, and I think I know why. It's because it's in the same case as the 1982 Toyota Supra, which has a real big following around it, and loads of people are really hyped around that car, and hence just overlook this thing, even though it's a really nice new casting. Now this casting also first debuts in the 2023 J case, and it also first debuted in this glossy red colour as well. Moving swiftly on to the K case, we have the Volkswagen ID Buzz. Now this is a really unusual casting, but honestly I'm a big fan. I'm happy that the Hot Wheels team have decided to put some more ordinary and everyday cars into their lineup. I think it just spices it up a little bit. Now this casting first debuted in the 2023 K case, as I've already mentioned, and it first debuted in this metallic yellow colour. Next up we do have the Alfa Romeo GT V6 3 litre. Now this is just a really nice casting as well. Loads of people love it, and honestly it's just a really well executed one, and I can't blame people for choosing this as their favourite casting, because it's definitely high up on people's list from what I've heard anyways. Now this casting also first debuts in the 2023 K case, and it also first debuted in this glossy red colour, which I think suits this casting fantastically. Next up we do have the 1956 Barbie Corvette. Now this casting also first debuts in the 2023 J case, however it did not debut in this blue colour, instead it debuted in a matte pink colour. I don't have that in my collection because I was never able to find it. Overall this is a really nice casting, and it's pretty accurate to the movie car indeed. Really awesome one there. There were no new castings in the L case, but the M case did have loads of new castings once again, and all of the new castings in the M case were off-road inspired vehicles, and this one is no exception. This is the Volvo XC40 Recharge. It first debuted in the 2023 M case in this really quite nice green colour, which is metallic. It's a really interesting and unusual green, which I think suits this casting very nicely. Overall, the casting is really cool, and I think a lot of people give this thing quite a harsh review. I don't think it's as bad as people think it is, and overall it's definitely not my least favourite casting for 2023. Next up, we do have the 2024 GMC Hummer EV. This also features in the Barbie movie and also first debuts in the 2023 M case in this matte grey colour. Now overall, I do quite like the casting, but it is going to be quite low down on my list, in fact very near the bottom. It's just not one of my favourites this year, but as I've already said, I don't dislike any of the castings from this year. There's just a few castings which I don't like as much as other ones. So there you go, it's pretty decent, but it's not my favourite. Next up, we do have the Jeep J10. Now, unfortunately, this is going to be really low in my list, and it's because of this colour and the tamper work. I just don't like it very much. Overall, the casting's pretty decent, but again, it's just not my favourite from this year. There's definitely been better castings, in my opinion. Now, this casting first debuts in the 2023 M case as well, and it first debuts in this metallic orange colour, which is very unique. Next up, moving on to the N case, I think there's more really cool stuff in here than the previous case, and let's kick it off with the Bugatti Boulide. This is a fantastic new casting. I just love this thing. I think the Hot Wheels team have nailed it with this one. Now, as I've already said, it first debuts in the 2023 N case, and also first debuts in this glossy black colour. Next up, we do have the Custom 68 Camaro. Once again, I'm a big fan of this casting. I think it does get quite overlooked, to be honest. I think a lot of people focus their attention on the Bugatti Boulide and hence kind of forget about this casting, even though I think this casting is really cool. Now, this casting first debuts in the 2023 N case as well, and it first debuts in this matte dark blue colour. Next up, we do have the Porsche 928 S Safari. This is a decent casting. It's kind of one of them cars which just slots right in the middle of my list. It's not my favourite, it's not my least favourite. It first debuts in the 2023 N case in this metallic grey or silver colour. Next up, we do have the 57 Jeep FC. This casting pleasantly surprised me. I wasn't expecting too much from it, but honestly, it's a really nice one. I think the Hot Wheels team have done a fantastic job on this thing. Now, this casting first debuts in the 2023 P case, and also first debuts in this metallic dark blue colour. Next up, we do have the Dodge Viper RT10. This is once again a really nice new casting. Overall, this year has been fantastic for new castings. This casting also first debuts in the 2023 P case in this glossy red colour. Overall, a really nice new casting. Once again, I think it looks very realistic to the real life car, and the Hot Wheels team have done a fantastic job on this thing. Next up, we have the Ford F-150 Lightning Custom. This casting also first debuts in the 2023 P case, and I honestly think that this casting is really nice. A lot of people don't like it, but I personally do. I think the Hot Wheels team have done a fantastic job on making a pretty boring EV look really cool. Now, this casting also first debuts in the 2023 P case, and first debuts in this metallic dark blue colour as well. Next up, onto the Q case, we have the McLaren Solus GT. This casting slots right in the middle of my list. It's definitely not a bad one, as I've said, none of them are bad, but it's just not my favourite. It's really nice still though. It first debuts in the 2023 Q case, as I've said, and first debuts in this glossy white colour. And the final new casting for 2023 was the Land Rover Series 2. Again, a really nice new casting. I think the Hot Wheels team have done a fantastic job on getting the scale of this car perfect, and it looks very accurate to the real life car. It's just really nice. It first debuts in the 2023 Q case, as I've mentioned, and first debuts in this matte army green-esque colour. I think this colour suits this car fantastically, and a lot of the real life Land Rover Series 2s were painted in this same colour. Overall, a really nice new casting once again. Alright, so that is it for the showcase of all the brand new castings, which first debuted in the 2023 Mainline. So now let's move on to the fan votes. You guys have been voting for your favourite and also your least favourite brand new castings, which first debuted in the 2023 Mainline. And let's kick it off with 5th place. So it was a 3-way tie. All of the cars in 5th place got 4.8% of the votes. So let's kick off 5th place. The first car in 5th place was the Audi 90 Quattro. This is in no specific order because all of these cars got the same percentage of votes. Now then, I love this casting, and honestly, you guys picked fantastically here. This is a stunning one. It's definitely one of my favourites. I think it's been executed fantastically and it just looks so good. Love the tampo work, love the colour on this specific release. Great colour to first debut this casting in. I actually like the wheel choice as well. And overall, I think it's just fantastic. So yeah, great choice from you guys so far. Another car which came 5th place was the Porsche 911 Carrera RS 2.7. And this is yet again a fantastic new casting. I love it. You guys have picked fantastically so far. I agree with both of these choices. They're really good and definitely did deserve one of the top spots for 2023's new mainline castings. Overall, just really well executed, very much like the Audi. It just looks so good. But there you go. And the only other car which came in 5th place, which you guys voted for, was the 72 Stingray convertible. Overall, I think it's a really nice new casting. I do have one thing which I'm not a big fan of. I feel like this casting is not wide enough. Compared to the real life car, it just looks a bit skinny, doesn't it? And really long, especially from the top. It doesn't look bad from the side, so maybe the length is correct, but I just don't think it's wide enough. Especially when you look at things like the rear. I think it looks too skinny there, and also the top. But other than that, I think it looks very nice indeed. It's nice to see this car in the Hot Wheels lineup for sure. The tampo work here is great. This debut colour is fantastic. And yeah, it is a nice one. As I've said, there's no bad new castings for 2023. This is just one of my least favourites simply because of this issue, which I think isn't accurate to the real life car when I've been looking at pictures. But let me know your thoughts on that. I might be wrong, that's just my opinion. Now it is time for your 4th place. And the only car in 4th place is the Volkswagen ID Buzz, gobbling up 7.1% of your guys' votes. Honestly, I wasn't expecting this to be one of your favourite new castings for 2023 in the mainline, but honestly, I agree. I love this thing. I didn't expect people to like it because I know quite a lot of people who collect Hot Wheels expect more fast supercars, muscle cars, etc., and not, more everyday cars like this. More people who collect Matchbox like this type of stuff. But honestly, it's great to hear that people are enjoying this casting because I think it's been done really well. The tampo work is fantastic and the casting itself is very, very accurate to the real life ID Buzz, which is really nice indeed. And yeah, overall, really nice choice from you guys. It's not at the top of my list. It's been really hard for me to pick. But yeah, it's a really solid one. I can't argue with that, guys. Really awesome choice there. Alright, so now on to 3rd place. It is a two-way tie between two cars, and both of these cars get 9.5% of your votes. And the first car, in no specific order, is the Custom 68 Camaro. This is a really nice new casting. Lots of people overlook this thing, but it appears that you guys didn't, and that's really nice to see. I love it too. It's one of my favourites, if I'm honest. It was really hard to pick my favourites this year because there's just been so many fantastic new castings. And yeah, but this one was going to be one of my favourites. It is so good looking. I love the plastic usage, I love the metal casting, love the tampo work, very unique, but definitely does fit with the crazy body kit on this car. Overall, looks very menacing and is a fantastic new casting. And yeah, there you go. And the other car is the 92 Dodge Viper RT10. Now, this is also a very nice new casting, and honestly, I have no complaints either. This is just really nice indeed. Love the debut colour. The casting, as I've said, is really nice and is very accurate to the real life car. Overall, I agree. It is one of the solid castings from this year. All of them have been pretty solid, to be honest, but this one is exceptional. Definitely a nice one indeed. I've said it before, I'm pretty sure, in my previous videos, but this year's new castings have been something else. Man, it's been so hard for me to choose. I keep saying this, but it really has. Honestly, yeah, this one definitely does deserve third place, and I'm glad you guys have been voting for it. And next up we do have second place. We are getting closer and closer to your guys' first place. Now second place was a tie as well. Both of these cars got 11.9% of the votes, and one of these cars, in no specific order, was the Alfa Romeo GT V6 3 litre. And once again, I can't argue with your guys' pick. This is another fantastic one. I just love it. The casting itself is really good. Tamper work is fantastic. The colour choice for this debut is just so good as well. This red just suits this casting great. Overall, it's really nice. These new wheels suit this car really nicely as well. They almost look premium, and honestly, again, no complaints. I am so pleased that you guys went for this as one of your favourite castings. It definitely does deserve that second place, and it doesn't really surprise me that this thing did really well in your votes, because it is just a really nice one indeed. And the other second place car is also really deserving of that place. It's the Bugatti Bolide. Again, I predicted this one to be one of your favourites just because the casting itself is just so good. I think this thing has such a strong potential for the future ahead of it. I definitely can see this thing coming to the premium line soon because the casting here is so detailed and accurate to the real life car. The tamper work here is really nice as well, plentiful there, and overall this execution is really nice. This colour scheme is really good on this car as well. This is the colour scheme which Bugatti is kind of known for nowadays, the blue on black. It is glossy black. And yeah, overall just so good, and yeah, I honestly am not too surprised that this thing did really well as well, because it is just really good as well. There you go. And now it is time for first place. This comes as no surprise to me and most of you guys who are watching, to be honest, probably. This won with 23.8% of the votes. It was a complete and utter landslide. This is the 89 Mercedes-Benz 560 SEC AMG. I think you guys picked this because this casting's great. The colour is fantastic. Looks so good on this casting. It's been executed fantastically in terms of tamper work as well. Very factory fresh looking. Again, I think the colour has done it a lot for this car. I think if it had debuted in any other colour, it wouldn't have done as well. But with this black colour on it, this glossy black, it just shines. It just looks so good. Overall, I can't blame you guys for picking this as your favourite. It is very nice and almost premium looking. Swap some real riders onto this thing and it definitely will look like a premium. It's got all the details that are really needed for this thing. Looks so good, and yeah, it comes as no surprise. This is the first place. I could see it coming before I even opened the votes up, and yes, it did get first place. Totally deserves it, and yeah, there you go. That is your first place car. Take a look at that thing. It's a stunner. And that is it for your favourites. So now we're going to talk about your least favourites. And in third place, we had quite a lot of different cars, and that was because each one of these cars got one single vote. There were quite a few different cars that got votes, but they only got one each. So I'm going to quickly go through all of these cars, not in too much detail. I'm going to talk about why I think you guys didn't like them so much. First of all, we have the 73 Jeep J10. I think it might be the colour that this person has chosen this thing as their least favourite casting. I also think it might be the tamper work as well. The casting itself I think has a good future ahead of it, but yeah, I think this debut colour has put some people off, including the person who voted for this thing. We also had the McLaren Solus GT. Now, I quite like this casting, but I think the reason why somebody voted for this as their least favourite is maybe because of the lack of detail in terms of tamper work. It does look a little bit bare. I think this thing should have debuted in the premium lineup. I said it in my initial review and showcase of this car. I do think it would have been better suited there. I think the colour is good on it, but yeah, the tamper work I think has let this thing down, and hence this thing is in third place for your guys' worst new casting for 2023. Next up we do have the 57 Jeep FC. Now I'm really surprised to see this as one of the worst new castings for 2023, as I really do like it, and I know a lot of other people who I've talked to in the comments section also really do like it, but somebody who voted for this thing didn't, and that's totally okay. You're entitled to your opinion, and there's probably a reason for it, to be honest. Maybe you don't like the wheels on it, maybe you think it should have been a premium model, I'm not sure, but somebody didn't like it, and that's okay. Yeah, there you go, that is also in third place. And another car which was in third place, worst new casting for 2023, was the 72 Stingray convertible. I can't blame the person who voted for this thing for choosing it, because maybe it is because of this weird scaling, which I think this casting does have, that I've just mentioned previously. As I've said, I think it should have been wider. Other than that though, I like this thing, and maybe that is the reason why this person also voted for this as one of their least favourites, because yeah, I do think the scale is off. Just looking at pictures and then looking at this thing, it looks too skinny, as I've said. It's fine lengthwise, it just needs being a bit thicker, and it would look a ton better in my opinion, and that probably is the reason why this person chose this as their least favourite. Another car which you guys have chosen for third place worst new casting is the Tesla Model Y. Now, I think I know why this is. Lots of people just don't like Teslas. They're known to have quite poor build quality, and I think that's probably why. Somebody probably doesn't like this car in real life, and hence has voted for this as their least favourite or worst new casting for 2023. That's totally okay, by the way. You're just voting for the casting which you don't like, and somebody didn't like it. That's totally okay. And as I've said, I think that's probably the reason why. It might not be, that's just what I think. And the final car which we do have here in third place is the Rimac Nevera. Now, I actually like this casting, but I think I know why somebody maybe didn't. Either they don't like EVs, and that's totally okay by the way, or they didn't like the fact that this casting had been done with the spoiler up, because technically when this car is standing still like that, the spoiler should be down, as the real life car's spoiler would be down, and technically this Hot Wheels model will never be going the speed that the real life car would need for the spoiler to come up. So technically that is not accurate, but I think the Hot Wheels team chose to do the spoiler up just to make it look a little bit more special and interesting. But that might be the reason, it might not be, I'm just guessing off of the criticisms which I can see some people do have about this casting. But there you go. And next up, taking a look at the second place worst new castings for 2023, it is a three-way tie. Each of these cars got 9.5% of the votes each. And let's kick this off with the 2024 GMC Hummer EV from the Barbie movie. Here it is. Now, I think people didn't like it because it's kind of a weird looking car. It doesn't have a massive following in real life, and it is an EV. So I think all of those things combined made people kind of dislike this thing. And that's okay. Honestly, it doesn't really float my boat either. It's definitely not one of my favourite castings. It's not a bad one for me, but yeah, it just isn't my favourite. It just isn't anything special to me. And it appears the same way for you guys as well. And next up, we do have the 82 Toyota Supra. I'm really surprised at this one because I like this casting. I know a lot of people do, but it appears that some people don't because it did get a decent amount of votes for it to be the worst new casting for 2023. I don't know why that is. I honestly can't think of anything. Maybe it's because it doesn't have any front tempo. But yeah, I really don't know why. But yeah, it did get some votes and hence it is in second place alongside two other cars for the worst new casting for 2023. And the final car in second place for being the worst new casting for 2023 is the Land Rover Series 2. Now, I also do like this casting quite a bit, but it seems that some of you guys don't. Now, the only reason what I can think of why you guys might not like it is people living in America don't really get these cars on your roads and hence don't really have any connection to them. Much like us guys in the UK who don't have a massive connection to most muscle cars since we didn't get them here in the UK. We have to import them. Same thing goes with this car. Overall, I like the casting though, but some people don't, and that is totally okay. It's really interesting to hear your guys' opinions, and yeah, it seems like quite a few of you guys aren't a big fan of this casting. It's totally okay, but yeah, it kind of surprised me. And that does lead us onto your guys' least favourite new casting for 2023. It was a complete and utter landslide at 42.9% of the votes. So yeah, it was a very obvious loser. It doesn't surprise me too much. I was kind of predicting this car to be a lot of people's least favourite new casting. This is the Volvo XC40 Recharge. I don't dislike this casting. I don't think it is too bad. It's definitely not my favourite new casting for 2023, definitely not. But it's definitely not my least favourite either. It's just a alright one for me. It seems like quite a few people didn't like this thing at all though. I think there's a few reasons for that. First of all, the guys in America probably don't have as much of a connection to this car as people living in Europe. Secondly, it's an EV and people generally don't really like EVs. Lots of people prefer petrol cars and diesel cars, which I'm one of them people, to be honest. And finally, I think some people just don't like the off-road kit on this car, and those things combined made you guys vote this thing as your least favourite new casting. Maybe you guys also dislike the colour as well. I've heard a few people who don't like that colour there. I quite like the colour on it. I think it does suit this casting quite nice. The tampo work is quite controversial as well. There's lots of things that people just don't really like. Overall, I quite like it, but it appears you guys just don't, and that is totally fine. It's really interesting to hear your opinions, as I've already said. And yep, this is your least favourite new casting by a landslide, so that does mean lots of you guys agree on this, and I'm not honestly surprised at all. So there you go, that is your last place car. Alright, so now it is time for my votes. So yes, it is time for me to reveal what my favourite and also my least favourite new castings for the 2023 Mainline were. So let's get straight into this without wasting too much time. In 5th place for me was the Audi 90 Quattro. It's by no means bad, it's very nice actually. Near the start of the year, this was absolutely my favourite new casting, but since then, there's been some absolutely fantastic new castings released as well. And yeah, that has caused this thing to drop down my list a little bit, but still, this is one of my absolute favourites. This is just a beauty. I love the tampo work, love the colour on this debut version of this casting. I love the wheel choice as well, controversially, because lots of people don't like these aero disc wheels, but I quite like them, especially on this car. Overall, the casting itself is very accurate to the real life car, even has wing mirrors and windshield wipers. So yeah, I have no complaints. What a fantastic new casting. And now it is time for my 4th place. In 4th place, we do have the Bugatti Boulide. I love this thing. I think the metal casting here is fantastic and is very accurate to the real life car. The tampo work is phenomenal. It's very detailed, as you can see here. It also does receive rear tampo work as well. If it didn't have rear tampo work, I don't think it would have ranked as high up on my list, but the amount of tampo work detail here is fantastic. That combined with the metal casting just makes this thing fantastic in my opinion. We also have quite a nice wheel choice to debut this casting as well, with these aero disc wheels. I'm quite a big fan of the aero disc wheels, especially when they have been done right, like on this car in my opinion. I think they look very slick with the design of this car and do match the design very well. Overall, just so good. Really nice to see this car making its way into the Hot Wheels lineup. I was very pleased when I first saw it announced, and I'm even more pleased now that I have this thing in my collection. It just looks so good. I have no complaints whatsoever. Super accurate looking and super aggressive and just awesome looking. So next up, it is time for my 3rd place. We do have the Porsche 911 Carrera RS 2.7. Once again, this is just a stellar new casting for this year. The detail in the casting here itself is so good, but one thing which really is nice to see is this casting only has one wing mirror, which is accurate to the real life car. Just such a nice detail to see here. We've also got windshield wipers there. We've got some really nice tampo work, very plentiful. We've got it on the front, the side, and also the rear. It's not very often that we see mainlines with this level of tamper work. It just looks so good. The casting is great, the tamper work is great, and the debut colour in this glossy white colour just looks so good on this casting. Overall, I just love it. I have no complaints once again. It is a fantastic one. It just looks so good in my collection and will look good in anybody's collection. It does look premium once again. The detail here is absolutely fantastic here. Overall, it is just so solid. I can't stress that enough. It is really, really good. Right, and now it is time for my second place car. This is going to surprise quite a few of you guys. This is the 89 Mercedes-Benz 560 SEC AMG. You guys picked this as your favourite, but nope, this is not my favourite. It was very close, but no, another car did get that spot. This thing is fantastic. I love this glossy black on this car, both in real life and also die-cast form. I think if this casting had debuted in any other colour, it just would not have ranked as high in my list and also your guys' list. Because we have had some releases since this black one of them being in silver, and I just don't think it looks as good. I think it does highlight the lack of tamper work on the front grille of this car. There isn't any tamper work here other than the Mercedes badge, and when we do swap the colour from black to a different colour, it does highlight that lack of detail in terms of tamper work, which is really unfortunate. I really do think that this black version is where it's at. It is going to be the best release of this casting ever to come out, in my opinion. I love the tamper work. The casting itself is really nice. Overall, I have no complaints whatsoever. It's just really solid. Nice to see this car in the Hot Wheels lineup. Finally, it's been highly requested and it is finally here. And now it is time for my first place car. It was really hard to choose this car, but in first place for me is the Alfa Romeo GT V6 3 litre. I just love this casting. I think it's been executed so well. I love the plastic usage. Love the debut colour on this thing. It's got wing mirrors, it's got windshield wipers. It has the tamper work on the side and the front. Lots of tamper work detail here. Looks like a proper retro racer car, which is what this release is going for. Looks really good. Love the wheels on this thing as well. Overall, it just looks so good. I have no complaints whatsoever. This is definitely my favourite new casting from this year. It took me ages to find this thing, but I finally did it, and it was definitely worth the hunt. It's an absolute stunner. I love this thing. Just an awesome new casting in every single way. Zero complaints. Just nothing wrong with it in my opinion. And yeah, there you go. That is my first place. Officially my 2023 new casting first place. Yep, it is the Alfa Romeo GT V6 3 litre. We're not done yet though, because now it is time for my least favourite new castings. It was quite hard to choose these as well, because overall the castings this year have been really good. But in third place for my worst new casting for 2023 is the 72 Stingray convertible. I've already told you guys what I don't like about it. I just don't think it is wide enough. But other than that, I really like it. Tamper work is really good. The colour on this thing is really nice. It is a nice new casting, but as I've said, I do wish it was a little bit wider, because I think that would have made this thing look a lot better and also a lot more realistic to the real life car. But there you go, that is my third place least favourite new casting. Alright, and now it is time for my second place least favourite new casting for 2023. It is the 2024 GMC Hummer EV. This car did feature in the Barbie movie. I can't quite pinpoint why this car is ranked so low on my list, but it is. I just don't think this thing does anything special for me. It's not one of them castings where I'm like, wow, that thing looks so cool. And that is the same for the real life car. It just doesn't wow me very much. It's kind of one of them castings where you look at it and you go, it's alright, but it's nothing special. It's not like the ID Buzz, where that's really quite a boring car in real life, or lots of people would say it's boring. I think it's quite a cool one, but yeah, lots of people would say it's quite boring, but it's a cool boring, you know what I mean, to have in the Hot Wheels lineup, where this thing is just, it's just a little bit boring. yeah, it just exists in my opinion. So that is why this thing is my second place least favourite new casting for 2023. Alright, and that does lead me onto my least favourite new casting for 2023, and this is the 73 Jeep J10. Now, I don't know what it is, but this thing just isn't my favourite at all. It's my least favourite. It's not bad, but it's just my least favourite. I think it's this weird colour. This orange is really weird. Some days I really love it, and most days I just don't really like it. I'm not a big fan of the tampo work on the side of this thing. I don't like the giant Hot Wheels logo. I think it's quite obnoxious looking. It looks a little bit childish in my opinion. And overall the casting itself is pretty okay. I mean, it's pretty detailed, don't get me wrong, but it just doesn't do anything special for me, in my opinion. You can like this thing all you want, that's totally okay. This is just my opinion. My opinion is not a fact, it's just what I think. And I'm not loving this thing. I didn't love it when I first got it, and I still don't love it. I think I like it a little bit more now, but still, it's just not my favourite new casting. As I've said, I want to clarify, it's not bad, I don't think it's terrible at all. It's just not my favourite casting, and hence it is my least favourite new casting for 2023. Some car had to have this position, and for me it is this thing. Some people will be devastated that this thing did way worse than the Volvo XC40, which a lot of people seem to really heavily dislike. But yeah, this thing just doesn't do it for me personally. It does it for quite a lot of people. Lots of people do like it, but yeah, just not for me, unfortunately, this one. And that does conclude the 2023 year review video. I hope you guys did enjoy it. Please do let me know in the comments section if you did, and what I can improve on for next year's year review video. I really do thank you guys for making it all the way to the end of this video, and I really do thank you guys for all the support you have shown me through 2023. It means an absolute ton. You don't know how much it means to me. It is much appreciated. I love all of you guys, and I really do hope that you have a fantastic 2024. I'm recording this in 2023, but I will see you guys in 2024. Hopefully it's going to be a great year. It's looking like it, to be honest, in terms of new castings. There's some really good stuff coming up, so can't wait to get my hands on some of those, and I can't wait to review and showcase the ones I already have in my collection, just waiting to have a video made on them. But there you go. As I've said, I hope you guys have a great 2024. Thank you for all the support you have shown me throughout this year. Means a ton. But anyways, that is it for this video. This is the last time I am going to be saying this for 2023. But if you guys did enjoy, make sure to like. If you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. Remember, you can also press that notification bell so you do not miss new uploads. Remember, you can also share this video with any friends, family, or any groups who may be interested. But remember, don't feel pressured to if you don't feel like you have anybody who may be interested. You watching this video all the way to the end means so much to me, and I really do thank you for making it all the way up until this point. But anyways, that is it for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you guys for the support. It means a ton. See you guys in 2024.